It seems like demand for luxury condos in San Francisco is basically zero. There's no demand. Nobody wants it. Construction for condos is going down. In fact, construction for just everyday average Joe apartments is pretty much zero. If you check out Zillow, if you look at the Bay Area, it's completely devastated with pretty much most of the wealthy individuals already leaving. And even some of the units where it used to sell, like cakes, are no longer selling. I mean, back in the old days, if you told me, like, this condo right here, pretty much a new construction that looks fair, very nice, fully renovated and in this very nice looking building in a good neighborhood, 2 bed, 2 bath, almost a 1,000 square feet selling for $1 million, I will buy this in a heartbeat, but now nobody wants this. This was a unit that could have easily been sold for, like, $1,400,000 at the peak, but now nobody wants it. High rates, high crime, and high shoplifting is causing San Francisco realty to take a massive beating. What's really scary is here in the US expensive locations include Seattle, the Los Angeles area, San Diego, the Bay Area, you got Miami, you got Houston. You got, Chicago. You got New York City, Boston. You get the idea. These are all very expensive S-tier cities. And when those places have massive drops in real estate, you see banks collapsing as well. This is why many people are saying that the whole entire real estate situation is causing stress on the Bay Area banks. Bay Area real estate is worth a lot of money, and people knew that because back before the pandemic, vacancy rates were literally less than 3%. If there's a vacant store, a market straight people fight like dogs just to get that piece of valuable retail real estate, but now you have whole entire streets being completely empty in San Francisco. And this is actually causing a massive decrease in demand for luxury condos. There's also a flood of new units coming in. Right? We're already seeing construction being wrapped up in some of the most expensive San Francisco real estate properties. And a lot of them are near the water, which is very close to downtown region. So let me show you guys some very expensive pieces of San Francisco real estate that is not selling. Look at all of these very nice condos. This is 181 Fremont, and no, this is not the Millennium Tower. This is a Millennium Tower, and I'm surprised they could actually sell this for $14 million. Nobody wants this because this is literally a tower that's leaning by its side by, like, several inches. This is another very good unit. This is very high-end in a very good neighborhood. You can get a garage space, $8,600,000, nobody wants it. Right? And here's the thing. You may say, oh, man. Hey. There isn't that much demand for hyper-expensive real estate anyway because of high interest rates. Well, if you go to Miami, if you go to Las Vegas and go to Manhattan, units that are over $5 million are still being sold like crazy. Maybe not as eat as it before, but they're still selling very, very fast. But many of these units, like in San Francisco, are on the market for already, like, a couple years and nobody wants it. And units like these, like, $7,790,000, these price tags could have sold for $10 million to $15 million back in the old days. But nobody really wants it anymore. Right? And we're seeing a lot of these condos, like, for example, the luxury 181 Fremont, being completely empty. Not a single person wants it, and not to mention the property taxes are extremely expensive. The HOA is very expensive and the home insurance is extremely expensive because San Francisco is in an earthquake zone. So that's not really that great. And you get the idea. And the affordable apartments aren't being built either. You're seeing that every 2 quarters, San Francisco tends to build almost 2,000 units. A combination of condos and apartments sell and rent now in the first 2 quarters of this year. They've only built like less than 300 units. So think about 2,000 units, 3,300 units. That's a huge difference. I mean, construction has dropped 80–90%. 2 of the massive luxury skyscraper projects have now completely been cancelled. And not to mention, sold properties now surrendering a brand new condo project in Mission Bay to the lender. Now here it is, a 24-unit building that was held up by San Francisco permit approvals. They were supposed to sell this during the peak price of San Francisco, but now they just enter the market and it's not even in like a bad neighborhood. Right? People say like, oh, this is in the hood. No. It's not. This is in a very good neighborhood. Right? This is in the dog patch. This is very near the coast, near the cool restaurants and shoppings right next to, like, the Mission as well. Like, this is a pretty decent neighborhood. Like, this isn't, like, buying something from a 10-woman district. This is buying from the dog pack, which is highly sought after. And they're supposed to easily sell these. And per unit wise, it wasn't too expensive. Many units were under $1 million, but nobody wants to buy it. Not a single person wants to buy because San Francisco real estate is so messed up right now. There's not a single investor that wants to buy. In fact, they've already lost 150,000 office workers because back in the old days, wealthy engineers, 150,000 of them, who used to commute to San Francisco to work all really wanted to buy a unit in San Francisco because they could just pretty much not do that crazy high commute time. A lot of times, many people live outside San Francisco is because it's so expensive. They're willing to do a commute. And everyone's goal was, like, save up money, buy a $1 to $1,500,000 one-bedroom apartment. But now prices have dropped so much. Nobody wants them. And even, like, some of the more average units, you know, some of the cheaper units under $1 million, they're not being sold anytime soon. Nobody wants the units and not a single person wants to touch the units. Look at this. Like I said before, huge construction projects are being installed. Even in places like Seattle, where people say, like, real estate prices are so bad going down, they're still constructing stuff. Right? They're still constructing condos because there's still demand for them. Same thing patent. People say people are leaving, but they're still building skyscrapers like there's no tomorrow because it sells. Same thing on Miami. Austin, Las Vegas. Lots of new construction suffers, lots of condos because they sell like crazy. San Francisco. When you get approved for a massive tower like this, you take it. Because towers like these, they only offer out permits, like, a few times a year. So it's very rare for developers to get the green light to build massive skyscrapers because they do make a lot of money for the landlords, developers, and the city themselves. The Hayes Point right here, which is next to Twitter, which is X, I guess. It's next to Uber, Lyft, Reddit, and several other tech companies, which many of them have closed down doors and move employees to online. This is supposed to be a building that's supposed to make a lot of money. Because you're in, like, the civic area. You're near the tech companies, but now nobody wants them. They're being foreclosed and the land is being sent back to the lander. They even have, like, some high-end heavy-set machinery already ready at the location, but nobody wants it. Right? Nobody wants this plot of land. It's very sad to see a situation. And we're also seeing mortgage rates going to 8%. Just to wrap this up, just letting you guys know, 30-year mortgage headed just 8% is not great. It's hitting a high, not seeing since late 2000. And we're gonna be seeing the treasuries going up. We're actually seeing less people willing to invest, especially in California real estate. Why invest in real estate with $1 million when you could buy treasuries and make a say 4 to 5% a year? Just by putting our money in, like, the treasury area. Right? The only way you lose money is if the whole entire country, they just goes bankrupt. And that's not gonna happen. So right now, we're seeing a lot of top-end high-tech investors who used to purchase a lot of real estate, and that's what really drives up the price. They're no longer buying. Why do you risk that much money at something that risky these days? We could just buy treasuries, buy bonds, buy CDs, such a safer option. That's exactly what's happening. We're seeing many construction companies, many investing companies, investing less in real estate and investing more in other assets, which make more, in fact, in some areas, and they're guaranteed to make money and also, they're way safer. So thanks a bunch of guys. Comment below. Like, comment and subscribe for more. Lots of state news about San Francisco and the rest of the country. It's a crazy real estate climate out there. Get ready.